Well, welcome to another episode of a Curiously Good podcast. I'm Noah J. Matthews, and today we're bringing you a thoughtful cat story by Alyssa Durst. Now, I'll tell you right now, this story is heartbreaking, but so beautiful. It was also the winner of the 2024 Spring Writing Contest put on by the company. The prompt, Buried. That contest in particular was special to me personally because I got to be one of the judges, along with Vela Carmen and RJ Catlin. We chose Alyssa's story Passing as the winner because of its achingly beautiful prose and raw human emotion. This isn't just a nice story, this is a work of art. Today's episode is brought to you by Copper Lies by Ali Prince, an exciting tale of love, lies, and a mechanical dragon. Let's dive in. This isn't your granddad's Christian fiction. It's time to find and celebrate the good stuff. The Kingdom writers who are breaking boundaries and eating stereotypes for breakfast. It's time to show the world what a new generation of Christian writers has to offer. It's time to show them something curiously good. There's curiously good Kingdom literature all around us. Some of it old, some of it being written as we speak. Welcome to a kingdom-minded conversation for readers. Let's talk about the good, the bad, the holy, the profane. And let's have fun while we do it. Passing by Alyssa Durst. The kittens are stillborn, a breathless mess of placenta and fur. Daryl is at his bowling league, so I'm left to clean them up alone. The little bodies are tangled together, and I wonder if the babies were alive before I noticed them here in the garage. Did they emerge from the pain and push of birth to take her first breath? I imagine them writhing in their tight, wet pile, searching for warmth but finding only this old flannel shirt on the cold, concrete floor of the garage. Daryl is allergic, but when the little tabby came to our doorstep, with a bulging belly and tired eyes, I begged him to let her stay. His lips had pursed into that tight line that usually means no, but he softened when he saw the way I held her in my arms. Or at least that's what I like to think. Maybe he was just tired of arguing with me. Mama Cat sits in the corner of the garage, watching me with careful eyes. She licks her paw. Does she realize what's happened? Can she understand the ache of growing these bodies that would never have life? Daryl told me not to get attached by naming the mama. A name makes things personal. It's an invitation to knowing, to be known. To say someone's name is to recognize they have so much worth that a handful of letters are dedicated solely to describing their existence. But in my mind, I had started to name the kittens. Dakota, Sunset, Grasshopper, words that served as placeholders for my favorite memories with Daryl. Words that I hoped might rekindle something between us. I scooped the little bodies into the dustpan and hoped to see a flutter of life beneath the goopy afterbirth. Daryl says I'm a wishful thinker. He works maintenance at the forest preserve down the road. He fixes broken picnic tables, waters the Japanese garden, and drowns raccoons in cages when they have distemper. It's a horrible thing to witness. Sometimes at night, I think about last summer, showing up to the park in my pale pink sundress and hoping to surprise Daryl with my homemade chicken salad. But there he was with his big rubber-gloved hand, forcing the writhing raccoon into a metal cage. The poor thing was foaming at the mouth, clearly sick, but the look of quiet desperation in its eyes was begging for a life it couldn't live. I left without Daryl knowing I was there. I drove down country roads and cried, partly for the raccoon and partly for the look of cool indifference on Daryl's face as he held the cage underwater. There are 4 bodies in the dustpan, all still and silent. Daryl will tell me to throw them into a garbage bag. What's done is done. Sometimes I like to imagine that Daryl and I are 2 parallel lines that will converge someday at the vanishing point on the horizon. There is this hope, this longing. But deep down I know 2 parallel lines will never really converge. It's only an illusion one sees when one looks down the road. They say animals can't remember the past. They're fortunate. What a buoyant freedom belongs to the animals alone, while I'm forever anchored to a name I only let my lips speak once. It happened after the procedure while Daryl and I were in his truck. I would have named him Henry, I said. He could have been a girl, he said. We drove home in silence, and that quiet has lingered between us ever since. Mama Cat is rubbing her face on my leg as I hold her babies in the dustpan. I decide to bury them in the backyard, next to the daffodils. I decide that I'm going to keep the stray and name her Mama as a reminder of what could have been. Daryl won't be happy. He will say he's too allergic to keep her around. We're not home enough to care for her. We don't have enough space or money. But I will say that we have love, and sometimes that's enough. The hole is dug, and the kittens fall into the dirt without a sound. I cover their bodies with the flannel shirt and say their names out loud. I repeat their names like a mantra, and in some small way, I feel like this makes them real. One thing I love about Alyssa's story is how quiet it feels. The prose is sculpted in such a way that almost wants to be whispered reverently. Alyssa takes this drama high and emotion heavy story and writes it in such a way that feels dissonantly peaceful. It's this quietness, this kind of uncomfortable quietness, if you will, that makes us care more about the dead kittens, about the protagonist's child swept away in a procedure. Passing is a story that breathes a thoughtful life to the subjects like abortion without ever speaking the word outright. And now, for a more upbeat note, let's turn to this month's sponsor, Copper Lies by Allie Prince. From the back of the book, if you make something, and that something accidentally comes alive and destroys your entire town, would it be fair to say that you destroyed the town, or can we just blame it on the thing? Lillian Booker is dying to experiment on the strange, glowing rocks hidden inside her adoptive father's workshop. But the professor forbid it before he left on his journey. As Lillian learns all she can about the stones without breaking the professor's rule, she finds herself stuck between 2 worlds. Will she live the life of a brilliant inventor, or give up on her dreams and become a respectable lady instead? What will make her happy? Which will prove to the professor that he didn't make a mistake when he chose her? When Lillian secretly builds a mechanical dragon, one mistake leads to another. When the strange glowing stones and her creation collide, her dragon roars to life. Lillian must make a choice. Lie and keep her dragon a secret, or finally face the truth. Will any of it matter anyway, if the town's already been destroyed? This is a fun, light-hearted YA adventure with themes that hit home. When you turn to that last page, the prose thickens and emotion bubbles out real and raw. Even for someone like me who doesn't usually read YA, this book hit home. Its themes and emotions resonated in a way that was sincere and real. I highly recommend heading over to Amazon now and checking it out. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Once again, I'm Noah J. Matthews, and this is a Curiously Good podcast. You made it this far, so make sure you're liking, subscribing, and commenting. For a weekly dose of Curiously Good literature, hop over to the Pearl at pearlmag.co and make sure you subscribe. Just by listening, you're contributing to Better Kingdom Media. To sponsor an episode, email us at advertise@pearlmag.co. We'll catch you later.